Clubs, and that's not the story. FC Cincinnati could not play last Saturday. Field conditions did not allow a match to happen in Charlotte. And Reed, that means a lot of the regulars for John Harkes haven't played competitively in 2 weeks. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bit of a double-edged sword. From a coach's perspective, it allows you to rest some of those nagging injuries and allow the players to hit the reset button mentally and emotionally. But from a player's perspective, you need that competition to sharpen the edge. So we'll see how the guys handle it.
Well, one guy who's plenty sharp, Jimmy McLaughlin, 3 goals in his last 3 appearances, and boy, is he hard to defend.
He's very hard to defend, and he's got a hot foot right now. This is a guy that when he touches the ball, it's getting to the back of the net. He comes on cold, 61st minute in the game against Indy 11, first touch, scores a goal. So the key tonight is to continue to get him the ball in positions where he can continue that streak, but also use him as a decoy to open up the other players.
Last time the club played here at Nippert Stadium, he had the game winner against Pittsburgh. He'll be in the starting 11. We'll check the lineup for John Harkes and check in from the field for the first time when we return. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. And dressed today, Omar Mohamed will not dress for the first time this season. At the other end, for Harrisburg City, we'll see a change for the Islanders as well. In goal, it's Kiesel Broom, his 3rd start of the year. He has not been the regular in goal for the City Islanders. And then, interesting to note, on the substitute sides, you could dress 7 subs. Harrisburg, only 6 subs dressed this evening. Harrisburg wearing their all-white kits, and they will get the first touch as we are underway. Second meeting of the season, first here in Cincinnati between these two clubs. Harrisburg City working right to left in the first half. FC Cincinnati in their traditional blue home kits with white and orange on the front. Harrisburg City sending it into the middle. No trouble there as Mitch Hildebrandt will step up to it. And we'll get to see FC Cincinnati work left to right for the first time today. Long ball down the field intended for Sean Coley, and the flag goes up from the side official. And offside is called on FC Cincinnati on their first offensive push of the night.
Coley gets on the other side of that defender and stays on the side.
Mitch saw him making the run against 3 defenders. Tried to feed it to him, and you know, Sean Coley can pick up a ball there right at the offensive third. He's instantly dangerous.
Very much so. He's got great footwork. He knows how to find the net.
Ball chip just across midfield, then picked up by Kenny Walker. FC Cincinnati with a ton of strength in the midfield as the ball is taken away. Aaron Wheeler, he's been the hot foot as of late for Harrisburg City. We mentioned in the open for FC Cincinnati, that's Jimmy McLaughlin. No question it's Aaron Wheeler for the City Islanders. Mitch Hildebrandt, no trouble there on the shot. That was just a bit wide, but Mitch decides to go out, get it, settle everything down.
Definitely. He wants the ball in his hands so he can set the run of play for the team. Wheeler scored back-to-back goals against Bethlehem Steel, and then he turned around and scored a goal against Toronto FC, so the guy is very hot in 2 games.
City has won 2 in a row. They now stand at 4-5-1 on the season. They mentioned they played back on May 7th. That match ended in a draw 1-1. Jimmy McLaughlin had the equalizer for FC Cincinnati. Here comes a Coley into the offensive third, pulling away from a defender towards the corner. draws two defenders, drops it for Andrew Wiedemann inside the 18. Wiedemann, one of those dangerous forwards for John Harkes. Here's Corbin Bone. Right-footed strike goes wide past the diving Kiesel Broom, the 6-foot goalkeeper. Tonight's keys to the match are presented by Toyota. For all Toyota offers, including those not seen on TV, go to Toyota's official website for deals at buyatoyota.com. And Reed, let's take a look at your keys tonight.
Thanks, Tom. The keys are manage emotions and defend the fortress. We talked at the top how we've had 14 days off. It's up to coach to make sure these guys come in even keel. They come in too hard and fast, and Harrisburg is known for sitting back and taking advantage of early mistakes, but they also don't want to come out flat and allow dictation of the game like Harrisburg did in Harrisburg.
Well, if you are just joining us, FC Cincinnati did not play last Saturday. They were scheduled to play at Charlotte, but a ton of rain in the Charlotte area basically flooded out the pitch. John Harkes and Ryan Martin saw some pictures of it that were sent to them. They determined that it was not safe to play last Saturday. The match was postponed until late August, so they didn't make a trip. After playing the U.S. Open Cup match 10 days ago, in a match in which many of the starters sat, FC Cincinnati's regulars, many of them, Corbin Bone, Sean Okoli, Mitch Hildebrand in goal, that none of them played against the Indy 11 PDL team. So they're playing for the first time in 2 weeks.
They are, and they haven't had a chance to continue to sharpen that edge competitively, but coach had amazing practices this week. He built to a crescendo by Friday, getting these guys ready for competition again. I loved what I saw out on the pitch during the week.
Nice ball by Paul Nicholson into the midfield. Went off the chest of Okoli to Corbin Bone, and here comes FC Cincinnati into the offensive third. Bone drops it for McLaughlin. The right-footed shot goes just high, and what a pretty setup by Corbin Bone, giving the hot foot of Jimmy McLaughlin an early shot.
What I love is you're seeing the final finish, but prior to that, Bone cut across McLaughlin's face, allowing him to have that space in behind and create a vacuum to strike the ball.
Saw Kiesel Broom there, the goalkeeper out of Delaware, calming everybody down defensively. FC Cincinnati, it's not a secret. John Harkes is going to come out. He's going to attack. And they've already created a few opportunities here in the first 5 minutes.
They sure have. And going back to one of the keys, we talked about defend the fortress. We know this is a soccer town. We put 20,000 plus fans in the stadium. We want every USL club to know that when they come to Cincinnati, it's going to be a war. That starts with, one, reducing the errors we have on defense to eliminate any goals, and two, dictating the pace of play, which you're seeing early on, we are.
Pass into the middle from Harrisburg is deflected away defensively, and FC Cincinnati is going to look to counter the other way as Andrew Wiedemann brings it up the near touchline. Good defense on him from Jose Baril. But Wiedemann swinging it into the box, didn't quite catch up with Sean Okoli. And Harrisburg going to try to regain possession. I mentioned Jose Baril, the midfielder out of Spain. He sat last time out in the win last Tuesday against Toronto FC2. Why? Because he's sitting on 4 yellow cards. USL rules dictate that on your 5th yellow card, you are suspended for 1 game. So to protect him, Bill Betcher sat him. He did not play, therefore he can play today. Had he picked up a yellow card against Toronto FC2, he would not have been eligible today.
Kind of tells you the level of respect they have for FC Cincinnati, wanting to save him for this game.
No question, teams have been excited to be here at Nippert Stadium to play in crowds in excess of 10,000. This is now 5 straight matches at Nippert that FC Cincinnati has put in 10 grand or more. 11,000, the smallest crowd of the season, isn't a bad mark, and that was a game that was played in driving rain for about 75 to 80% of it.
And cold temperatures.
Here comes Harrisburg City into the offensive third. Paul Wilson knocks it off to his right. Now he will hold about 25 yards away. Good chemistry. Wilson into the box. Going to send it into the middle and wisely knocked away. Paul Nicholson with nifty defense to break up what was great passing by City.
Tremendous focus. Tremendous focus on Nicholson's part, staying with his mark, getting between Wheeler and the ball. We'll take the corner over a goal.
That's not even a corner. Nicholson was able to keep it
for
outside of the
my
flag,
bad, yeah.
so a throw-in for City. Wheeler trying to get it back into the box. Ross Tomaselli watches it roll out in the corner, was trying to save it, then he sold it to the official as though it went off of Wheeler, but not the case. Ross touched it last, so now here comes a corner. First of the match for either team. We're in the 7th minute and scoreless between Harrisburg City and FC Cincinnati. It's the City Islanders who scored first when these two teams met on May 7th, and then a late equalizer from Jimmy McLaughlin to end that match in a draw at 1 apiece.
They like to get out early. The last couple of games, they got goals in the first half easily.
As City was getting ready to swing it in, some contact in the box. Kenny Walker was there, knocking over Wheeler. Let's see. Right on the edge there. And you can see a whole lot of contact. It was Delbridge and Walker were nearby Wheeler. He is now up. And City will get ready to swing it in from the far side. To the left of Mitch Hildebrandt. Wheeler certainly one of the targets they're looking for here. Sent into the box. Wheeler trying to put his head onto it. He cannot. Instead, it was Danny DePrima who got a piece of it. FC Cincinnati able to clear. And Corbin Bone forward to Wiedemann. Wiedemann doesn't have numbers. Wisely turns it around. Finds Kenny Walker with some space. Walker will let it through. And it ends up on the foot of Pat McMahon. Okoli, good ball back to Walker. Tried to back heel it to Okoli, who wanted a handball, as did the fans here at Nipper.
Not much there, but fantastic idea. Walker is the orchestrator. He will create a lot. He's got great vision. We want the ball at his foot.
Matthew Bolduc broke it up. Now City just trying to get it out of their defensive third. Corbin Bone challenging as Burrill turns it to the far side of the pitch.
Wilson running free in the midfield. We want to try to shore up the midfield a little bit. He is deadly with the ball at his foot. He's wily in the attacking third.
Harrisburg City, Reed, certainly is not going to attack the same way that FC Cincinnati is. They're going to sit back and pick and choose where they find their right opportunities to come after you.
Certainly. They will force you to play their game. Once we start playing long ball, they'll knock balls in. They've got a huge rangy target.
Foul on Kenny Walker as we get another look. And gave a little bit of a knock there to Paul Wilson. Certainly a fair call by the match official, Kevin Terry. So a beautiful night it turns out to be here on Saturday evening in Nippert Stadium in the 10th minute. Scoreless between FC Cincinnati and Harrisburg City. Free kick coming at midfield. Will be swung to the left. Again looking for Wheeler, who heads it straight into there. Harrison Delbridge was there. It is picked up by Bolduc, who fires it up into the Bailey. No trouble for Mitch Hildebrandt. Get into the game through the USL's social media channels. Follow the USL on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for news, live game updates, and video highlights from across the league. Paul Nicholson, who was a guest on John Hark's radio show this week, bringing it up the near sideline. Talked about how exciting it was to get his first goal of the season playing against his former lads, Wilmington, here at Nippert Stadium back on April 30th. Also made his first start of the season that night in place of Austin Berry. Austin Berry, by the way, will be our halftime guest tonight, so make sure you stay tuned for that as we will check in with number 22 for FC Cincinnati. Not dressed tonight, still nursing that injury that occurred back on April 29th, but hoping to be back in the month of June, and we'll certainly get an update on his rehab when he checks in at halftime. Wheeler bringing it into the offensive third. Great ball to Wilson. Wilson into the 18. Tough collision. And a corner kick will be called as Wilson and McMahon crashed hard. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't McMahon. It was Nicholson. Wilson and Nicholson still both down in the box.
Wilson got the brunt of that one. I think he caught Nicholson across the side of the chest.
Nicholson is up. He's holding his lower back. Wilson still lying on the ground as we have the ability to take another look.
Oh.
And boy, yeah, Wilson did take
Wilson
a
got
tough hit from Paul Nicholson. I wouldn't say there was anything egregious there, but two players going for a ball, and I don't think either of them saw the other one coming.
No, and Nicholson's focused on the ball at that point. It's in an open space. It's a 50-50 ball. Wilson coming in, a little bit of a shoulder to the chin.
Paul Nicholson was the first to his feet. Paul Wilson taking his time. Wilson, one of 4 natives of Jamaica on this Harrisburg City roster. All of them get regular playing time. Of course, FC Cincinnati has a native of Jamaica as well, Omar Cummings, who right now is coming off the bench for John Harkes. He started the match in the U.S. Open Cup against the Indy 11 PDL side and scored on a penalty kick. Actually scored later on a goal that was deemed to be offside, so nearly had 2 goals in the match. FC Cincinnati won on the game winner by Jimmy McLaughlin. They advance and will play Wednesday at the Tampa Bay Rowdies, then I think everybody in the greater Cincinnati area knows what awaits FC Cincinnati if they win at Tampa Bay on Wednesday. Then 2 weeks later, a match against the Columbus Crew. And there's a lot of soccer fans in this region who would love to see that matchup.
The Battle of I-71.
In the meantime, a corner kick coming from City. Far side corner, swung into the box. Headed away by FC Cincinnati. Jimmy McLaughlin looking to play it. Ends up falling to Sean Coley, who sends it across midfield. Nobody getting forward in a blue jersey. Corbin Bone trying to track it down, and then it's wildly misplayed off the foot of Sean McLaws, the defender out of Oklahoma. And we have 2 balls on the pitch as Corbin Bone's going to drop it to Kenny Walker. Well, they got the second ball off the field as a throw-in will come for FC Cincinnati from the near side. Harrisburg City cleared it. The match official was trying to clear that ball, then he realized he kind of needed to pay attention to what was going on.
Had to watch what was going on. He did a great job of letting the game play, though, versus blowing the whistle and ruin what was we were creating.
A potential opportunity for FC Cincinnati. Harrisburg City sending it towards their offensive third, but out of control and out along the touchline, so a throw-in. Tyler Pollock will bring it back into play.
And as you see, Harrisburg's dropping into their 4-3-2-1 again with Wilson sitting in behind Wheeler. They love that. It shores up the middle for them, allows them to feed it into the big guy, and he can lay it off to Wilson. Throw
into Sean Coley, who uses a great move to get past the defender, then has it broken up right before he gets to the 18. Bobby Warshaw turning it up the far side, and now Wheeler coming to collect it in the midfield. Kenny Walker has other plans. Corbin Bone.
I love the fact that FC Cincinnati is not allowing that 4-3-2-1 to dictate the pace of play. They're still getting numbers forward, resetting it when they have to drop it back.
Walker into the box, had Corbin Bone. Bone picks it up and fed it to Sean Coley, who just missed on what would have been a go-ahead goal. No question, if that falls onto the foot of Sean Coley there, he punches that into the back of the net.
So tough as a forward to be patient, measure your steps. He got a little too deep. You can see he's starting to already get to the near post. By the time the ball comes across, he's too deep. It's hard to get a foot on it.
Yeah, if he stays far post, that ball comes right to him.
Easy to run on.
There isn't a lot that City can do to stop it.
I can tell you up here how easy it is to stay far post, but when you're on the pitch, it's a lot different. You want to get to that ball.
Well, Bill Becker in his 13th season leading the City Islanders. He's the only coach that this club has ever had. Out of Huntington, New York, 123 wins. As the head coach in Harrisburg, had a successful indoor career playing for the Harrisburg Heat, 315 games for the Harrisburg Heat during his career there. And now leading the outdoor side here in Cincinnati. 0-0 as we head to the 16th minute.
This is about the time that Harrisburg scored the last time on FC Cincinnati, so now is the time to eliminate any momentary lapses of reason. Continue to stay focused on the game.
Pat McMahon heads it back to his goalkeeper, Mitch Hildebrandt, and FC Cincinnati will turn it the other way. McMahon now going to pull it all the way back to his goalkeeper, Mitch, wearing the fluorescent yellow goalkeeper kit today. Looks a little bit like the highlighter I used to mark the starters.
You know what's interesting about those jerseys is as a forward, when you're getting ready to shoot, you look for your target. If that jersey is the last thing you see, you shoot to the jersey.
Well, Mitch has the highlighter yellow goalkeeper kit. Kiesel Broom at the other end for Harrisburg City has the more traditional yellow goalkeeper kit. In the meantime, Paul Nicholson, he took that knock when he collided with Paul Wilson right at the top of the 18 a few minutes ago. He is trying to catch his breath right at midfield, and did he
may have been a payback. That was nothing really there.
Yeah.
I think Wheeler was trying to just bump him a little bit.
Make a play on the ball.
Yeah.
So Wheeler's coming across.
Wheeler is a very physical guy. Harks and I were talking about, he's a great forward because he stays home, uses his body well, likes to play with his back to goal, and he will be physical with the guys up top because this shakes the defense a little bit and allows Wilson to get free.
FC Cincinnati has a ton of depth up front as far as their forwards are concerned. They got a lot of depth in the midfield, not as much depth with Austin Berry out. Now with Paul Nicholson starting, so not as much depth defensively. Evan Lee, who was injured preseason, has just recently been cleared to play. He's played in 2 games this season. He is running around over by the FC Cincinnati bench right now, just in case Paul Nicholson were not able to continue. He's one of the 7 reserves dressed today for John Harkes.
Lee got a little bit of time against Indy 11,
yes.
So it's nice to get his legs back under him. Nicholson is versatile and he's tough. He's done a great job filling in for Austin Berry, scoring a goal against his old team with a touch of a forward, to be honest with you, was a good thing to settle him into this role.
Nicholson turning it forward towards Okoli, headed away by Harrisburg, but picked up by Corbin Bone. Just outside the 18, Bone into the middle, McLaughlin. McLaughlin onto his right, Wiedemann. Wiedemann inside the box. Sends it into the middle. Okoli couldn't quite turn on it. And it comes back out across the box and is cleared out to midfield by City. Tyler Pollock will track it down. Another great opportunity. And FC Cincinnati certainly dictating things offensively right now.
Very much. Bone's been able to stay home a little bit more. I love this ball by Wiedemann. Freezes the defender, drops it back a little bit. And as you can see, we got a little bit forward on our runs, but that's okay. We'll sort out the pace.
Well defended by City as well.
They do a great job of getting numbers behind the ball, making it more difficult for us to slot those kinds of balls through.
Jimmy McLaughlin right at midfield as the fans continue to file in on a sun-splashed night here at Nippert Stadium. Wiedemann lets it go through. Pat McMahon making a great run, sends it back. Wiedemann with the right foot, puts it into the corner of the goal! Andrew Wiedemann gives FC Cincinnati a first-half lead.
That is the beauty of having McLaughlin on a hot streak. They're laying off Wiedemann, and that guy can strike from range.
Andrew Wiedemann on the assist from Pat McMahon. And it was Wiedemann allowing the ball through to McMahon. And then Pat feeding it right back. And Wiedemann giving the home lads an early lead.
After he allowed, I want you to see this. After he lets the ball through, they're already showing the shot. What's great about that is on his first touch, he looks up to find the goalie, sees that instead of a cross, the goalie is shading to the cross, shoot it. Watch the goalie. He's already shading for the cross. He's got a back bar shot. Brilliant.
Absolutely. A perfect shot by Andrew Wiedemann going upper 90 and hammering it past Kiesel Broom, the 6-foot goalkeeper, making his 3rd start of the year for Harrisburg City.
So I would say Toyota keys to the match. Key number 1, done. Manage the emotions. We've now got the emotional charge.
The smoke bombs are off in the Bailey. John Harkes is fired up with an early lead. And 10,000 plus. Last number I heard, and this was quite a while before, was 12,500. That was about 2 to 3 hours before this match started. So I would imagine the attendance number, depending on the walk-up, and the weather has turned out to be fantastic, I'd imagine a number north of 15 grand here at Nippert Stadium tonight.
I would agree with you. As the weather continued to hold off on us, I think more and more people decided this is a great night to bring your kids out and watch great soccer. And as you know, we have a strong youth community here in town for soccer.
Harrison Delbridge in the defensive third for FC Cincinnati. For Wiedemann, his 3rd goal on the season. Pat McMahon, that is his first assist. Ball played forward in the direction of Sean Okoli. He was headed away by Liam Doyle. Wilson and Tomaselli get tangled up. Wilson is slow to his feet. And then here comes the whistle from Kevin Terry.
And he blew the whistle to protect Wilson. You've got all these bodies around, people stepping down. You got Wilson on the ground. I don't blame him for slowing it down for a second, make sure Wilson's okay.
Second time that Wilson has been slow to his feet here in 21 minutes of play. Pat McMahon did get him in the face with his left hand as his momentum was carrying him backwards.
Certainly. McMahon at that point doesn't know Wilson's behind him. I was just getting ready to make a comment about he gets to everything in the air. Even when you think you've gone over him, he gets to it. Wilson was just in the way, and those things happen.
Paul Wilson, a member of the U23 Jamaican national team from 2012 to 16. If you're watching on television, you may have noticed he had the Jamaican flag on his wristbands.
Jamaica well represented tonight. Would we say 5 guys?
4 total, 3 regulars.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
For Harrisburg City. And then, of course, Omar Cummings for FC Cincinnati. Not starting, but we may see him in the second half. Ross Tomaselli misplays it. Wheeler looking to pick it up. Tomaselli fell down defensively, and Wheeler got just enough of his jersey, and Kevin Terry saw it. I don't think that it was really that much of a game-changing foul, but he had enough that you could see he was holding his jersey, whether it was intentional or not. He got called for the foul.
Tomaselli, great recovery. He's already going down. You can see, luckily, as he's selling
it was the shove
jersey.
before the jersey. Yeah, I think the call came because of what happened before he got the little bit of his jersey that he did. 23rd minute, FC Cincinnati, thanks to a goal by Andrew Wiedemann, his third of the season, leading 1-0. Mitch Hildebrand out across midfield. A foul was called. Sean Coley clearly fouled as he was waiting for the ball, and Liam Doyle just came over his back.
He's a fellow Cincinnatian, played at Cincinnati State before going on to OSU for a great career.
18 goals at Cincy State, 7 while playing at Ohio State in 45 appearances. Kenny Walker will send it out wide for Pat McMahon. McMahon looking into the box for a Coley, deflected away and defended well by Warshaw.
Look at how they've got all 10 of their guys behind the ball. Interesting, they're losing. Usually when they're winning, they drop everybody back and park the bus, but they're dropping back with everybody behind the ball now.
Ross Tomaselli turning it around to Paul Nicholson. Over to Kenny Walker.
Coach worked a lot this week on patience, creating openings. We want to play the ball where we have numbers up versus them.
Delbridge forward, trying to find Andrew Wiedemann, ends up in the hands of Kiesel Broom. Let's go down to the sideline and check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Lindsey Patterson.
Guys, I know he's going to join you at the half. Austin Berry's missed the last 6 games with that quad injury. We haven't seen him since the Toronto game, April 24th. Coaches have said, though, players have really stepped up in his replacement. Right now, all we know is he's day-to-day, but again, we'll have more coming up.
He's been working hard. He was running laps around the pitch about 5 o'clock today, 2 hours before the match. Foul.
Poor Wilson has taken an accidental beating already this game.
Ross Tomaselli with a foot to his stomach. The linesman on the far side actually put his flag up and made the call to make sure that Kevin Terry saw it. So free kick coming. Not really a dangerous spot.
What worries me is the height. You've got Doyle, you've got Wheeler, you've got Johnson, you've got some big boys in the box. We have to stay focused and stay between them and the goal.
Free kick coming from the right side in the direction of Wheeler, goes over his head. Then Tyler Pollock will knock it towards the corner and allow it to go out of bounds for a throw-in.
You can see Tomaselli orchestrating the defense, getting guys organized, get on your mark.
James Thomas, the forward out of Silver Spring, Maryland, comes over to take the throw-in, then gets it back and sends it into the box.
It's a brilliant ball across.
Jose Barril with a great shot just outside the 18, but just high. And no trouble for Mitch Hildebrand, but he got a good look on it.
We haven't mentioned his name much, but he can shoot from range. We have to be careful about him within 35 with a ball at his foot.
Barril again out of Spain, sitting on 4 yellow cards. So if he picks up a 5th, he's suspended. Shauna Coley has it broken up by Liam Doyle. Barril, 2 goals, 3 assists. He has 9 shots on goal. So he's the type of guy who's creating all types of chaos offensively. Important that he's in the City Islanders lineup.
Definitely. It takes some of the pressure off of Wilson and Wheeler, who have been orchestrating most of the attack in his absence, the last game especially.
Wheeler going to try to bring it up the near sideline. Tomaselli disrupts. And Kenny Walker picks it up and over to Pat McMahon. McMahon had the pass on the go-ahead goal by Andrew Wiedemann. Great back heel from Wiedemann to Corbin Bone. Bone into the middle. Coley tried to pick it up, was knocked down by Shane Johnson. No foul was called, no penalty is called, and just some coincidental contact there inside of the 6.
None deserved on the foul there. That was just 2 guys going for the ball. Fantastic little touch here. Bone able to pick out his target. Okoli making a fantastic near post run. You can see the ball actually gets caught up underneath him a little bit.
Shane Johnson, the 6'3" defender, playing on 6'1" Shauna Coley. It's a big battle for Johnson tonight against a big boy coming down trying to score. And Coley has great size, but he has great speed as well, and that's what makes him so dangerous.
Excellent speed, and he has to be relieved that Wilson's taking the accidental beating, because usually it's Okoli that's getting beat up a little bit.
Yeah. Paul Wilson, who's been knocked around a few times here in the first half, plays it backwards. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all of the latest Nike soccer information. Here's Wilson across midfield. Onto the far side, swung into the middle for Wheeler. Swings his left foot at it. And it is well defended by Paul Nicholson, and Pat McMahon goes out wide. And the whistle came.
Again, defending the fortress. If you watch, our guys get back. We've got one guy in the mid-range. And look, a body on Wheeler. Much better at defending our fortress tonight.
Kenny Walker forward to Corbin Bone. Bone will turn on it. Jimmy McLaughlin. 28th minute, FC Cincinnati leading 1-0. First repeat opponent of the season for FC Cincinnati. Wiedemann to McLaughlin. Looking for Sean Coley, a bit too strong. And it rolls out along the end line. Well defended. James Thomas made sure that Sean Coley couldn't get to it, but also made sure he didn't touch it, so it'd be a goal kick.
That ball had a little bit of a spin. I wondered if it was going to come back into him.
Kieselbroom played at Providence 2010 to 14. He played every minute in 2014 for the Friars en route to the NCAA tournament and a Big East championship. There's one guy over on the FC Cincinnati bench who will remember how the Friars won that championship, because it was against Luke Spencer and the Xavier Musketeers, picking up that conference title and NCAA tournament bid. He was then a 2015 MLS draft pick in the 3rd round by San Jose, but never made an appearance in MLS. Some contacts right in front of the City bench. Pat McMahon and James Thomas collided. Thomas grabbing his left shoulder.
McMahon got him a little bit with the leg on the shoulder going for that ball.
Bill Becker's going to come over and get somebody up right away. I don't think that James Thomas.
Here it is right here. Oh,
he grabbed that left shoulder immediately.
Maybe the cleat nicked the shoulder. There wasn't a whole lot of contact from this angle.
He's trying to tell his gaffer that he's okay to stay in as he grabs that right shoulder and wanders back onto the pitch. Well, it's hard to tell. Didn't look like it was a whole lot of contact, but apparently enough to drop him down. But let's see now. He's going to handle the throw-in.
Yeah, how's this throw-in
moments later?
Well, pretty good range of motion.
Quick recovery for James Thomas.
Did they use magic spray?
I did not see any magic spray. Pat McMahon will get a throw-in after it's lost out of bounds by Jose Baril along the near touchline. Pat has 2 soccer balls. I'll tell you what, the ball kids are on top of it today. So much so that we have seen an extra ball on the field twice.
Now, this is where if you have a lead late, you may see them a little slow giving the ball back.
See? And that we've talked about that home field advantage.
Exactly. Defend the fortress. All the way to the ball boys.
Ross Tomaselli onto the far side. Harrison Delbridge picks it up. Turns, spins it to Sean Coley. Top of the 18. Coley and McLaughlin there. Knocked away by City and into the direction of Baril.
Great first touch on the header to get forward into the attack.
Picked up by McMahon.
Kenny Walker.
He had 2 guys, McLaughlin and McMahon. McMahon made the run. McLaughlin froze, and neither of them got to the soccer ball.
Kenny, what he saw was an angle between the defenders. He could slip it in. Hope McMahon kept that run going. He cut the run off a little early. Ball slides free.
That's what I was thinking, that it was intended for McMahon, and that's why McLaughlin held off, but just a little bit too soon for McMahon to get there.
And that's a defender. They'll cut the runs because they want to get back or forward. They're always told, continue your run. You open up more space, and you never know if the ball's going to be there.
Sean Coley let it go over his head for Corbin Bone, who then had it knocked away. Kenny Walker thought he was going to get a throw in far sideline. Harrisburg City will get it and quickly bring it in. Bobby Warshaw. On the near side, Baril. Baril working into the offensive third. Turned it to his left, James Thomas, much too strong, out along the end line. And a goal kick coming up for Mitch Hildebrand. 32nd minute. 1-0 in favor of the home lads on a beautiful night at Nippert Stadium, where yet another great crowd has filed in. The Bailey is packed. The sidelines are nearly full. And we expect an attendance number somewhere in the range of 15,000. Club averaging over 17,000 through their first 4 home matches in USL play. Of course, they had a US Open Cup match on a Wednesday night 10 days ago, and were victorious. Corbin Bone turning it back to Kenny Walker. Intercepted by Bulldog. City will turn it in the opposite direction. Over to the left, intended for Burrill, intercepted by McMahon. Corbin Bone forward for Akoli. Sean Akoli left him. He knew Bone was making the run. Corbin didn't quite get there in time, and City picks it back up.
Coach this week did a lot going to goal, talking about the forwards, about being a little bit more creative. You can see there McLaughlin dropping off underneath Okoli. He tried to leave it for him. A lot more creativity than being so direct to goal.
Ross Tomaselli breaking things up in the midfield. Over to Corbin Bone. Now back to Paul Wilson. What's impressive about this FC Cincinnati team, as James Thomas brings it forward, 9 different guys have scored. Of course, one of them, Austin Berry, is injured right now, but 9 different guys have scored for FC Cincinnati. Corbin Bone's one of the guys who has yet to tally his first goal of the season, but it's only a matter of time. Sean Akoli,
unlucky,
able to keep control, then tapped it forward for Pat McMahon, who slipped as he was trying to catch up with him and make a run.
I'll tell you, I'm a forward, hometown boy, so of course I'm going to like him, but Coach Harks, his practices are phenomenal because everything at some point ends up going to goal. He was a scorer himself, so you can see it in the team. We're an attacking team. It's exciting soccer. We're going to have a bunch of guys score goals because we're trying to get forward and get to the net.
Bolduc turns it around, intercepted Pollock, picked up Burrill. Burrill into the offensive third for City, over to Wilson. Wilson just inside the 18, looking right, foots it, and a big save by Mitch Hildebrand.
That's a fantastic shot by Wilson. I'll tell you what, Jamie Starr's been working with the goalkeeper. Let's see this shot again. Gets inside the defender, little slip. He's actually trying to put a little curl on that, drag that away from the hands. But Jamie does such a great job of working with the goalkeepers on positioning and footwork. You want to prevent goals by preventing those opportunities, and so you have to be in the right spot. And Mitch has great hands and explosive feet. Easy save for him.
Well, if you saw the close shot of his hands there, and of course it is Memorial Day weekend. Hope everybody is enjoying their barbecue while watching or listening to USL soccer. But he's wearing patriotic gloves, stars and stripes, red, white, and blue on his gloves for Memorial Day weekend. Burrill turning it out wide. Now sent back into the middle, intended for Wheeler, headed away by Ross Tomaselli. Comes out to midfield, and City will turn it, trying to push back offensively, trailing by a goal.
A little ambitious there, but when you've got a big guy like Wheeler, you're going to want to lump it forward to get it to him.
There's no question he has been the target so far on pretty much every offensive run. Paul Wilson has had some great looks and very nice touches. But Wheeler is the hot foot, and rightfully so. City has been targeting him.
Lucky. One bowl of Wheaties.
Ball a little bit too strong coming from Corbin Bone.
My mentor, Coach Rockwood, used to say, eat one bowl of Wheaties in the morning. A little bit much on that.
Wheeler plays it off his chest. Now holding in the midfield. Kenny Walker tried to get in there, plays it back to Shane Johnson, the 6'3" defender out of Virginia. Now out across midfield. City setting up in the offensive third. On the right side, it's Bolduc. And ends up in the hands of Mitch Hildebrand as the ball was sent across the middle.
Watching games of Harrisburg over the last couple weeks, they're very right-handed. They like to get it out to Bolduc. He can swing the ball in. Wheeler likes to attack from this left side. He'll drift out of view of the defenders, get lost, and then come back in on diagonal runs.
Wiedemann gets in the offensive end.
Well done holding the ball up.
Pulling it out towards the touchline. Corbin Bone is cut down, no whistle. Wiedemann
Play
into
on.
the middle. Bone slow to his feet. Ball comes out to midfield and headed forward by Paul Nicholson. Paul Wilson going to track it down. He wanted to go back to his goalkeeper, Kiesel Broom. Could not, as The angle was cut off by Kenny Walker, and City having a hard time getting it out of their defensive third.
Great pressure to create the forced errors.
Bone trying to send it into the middle, deflects off of DePrima. And it goes out along the end line. So first corner kick of the night coming up for FC Cincinnati. That means Tyler Pollock with the left foot will make his way across the pitch.
So he's going to be hitting an in swinger. We can get our big boy Delbridge up in there now.
Pollock has 1 assist on the season.
So an in swinger is a ball that's coming from outside the goal back towards the keeper. Oh, lovely
Said
short
he goes
corner.
Short corner.
Isolated 2v1. Look at the numbers we have in the box,
Pollock
guys,
to
getting
Tomaselli.
organized.
Strikes it with his right foot, just a hair high.
So Broom has played the last few games, but he was relatively untested in those games, so I'm not surprised. Early on, we're testing him, making sure that he still knows what he's doing inside that net. This is a great short corner because you can see we've isolated a 2 versus 1 here. A little strong on the pass.
But look at the numbers. Recovered well. And then left-footed by Tomaselli.
So Tomaselli standing up a little bit. When the chest is up, the ball's going to start to rise. You can see it came up over the bar.
You know, both Tomaselli and Bone, and I was talking about Corbin a few minutes ago, being one of those guys that you just feel like it's a matter of time until he strikes a ball like he got in the preseason and puts together a highlight reel type goal. But Ross Tomaselli is going to be there as well. This team's going to have double-digit scores. It's only a matter of time till those guys get their names in the book in that regards. Definitely,
and Ross is one of those guys. I wrote him down as the unsung hero. You won't talk about him a lot. I know Coach Rockwood said that in one of the last broadcasts. He was a workhorse in the middle. He sits in behind Kenny, creates all kinds of opportunities, and creates chaos for the defense. Sooner or later, though, he's going to get forward and slip one of those in.
39th minute, FC Cincinnati leading 1-0. Tom Glader alongside Reed Maltby. Lindsey Patterson down on the pitch, providing the sideline report. She will check in with John Harks in a few minutes as the clubs head to the locker room at the half. 6 minutes left on the scoreboard. I would imagine, considering there's been a couple stoppages for injury as well as a goal, that there'll be maybe 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time.
We'll get a couple minutes now. It's just staying laser focused in these final few minutes plus injury time. He's out of frame now, but I like the fact that Coach is pushing Okoli up top, creating a target. Our forwards have been dropping off into the quote-unquote hole behind or in front of the backs too much. Now we're stretching them a little bit.
Shane Johnson playing it behind the midfield line. Now it comes forward. Burrill bringing it on the right side to Wheeler. Leaves it for Wilson, who struck it, deflected away by Wiedemann and Walker. Then Wilson picks it back up. Again, Walker deflects it. Jimmy McLaughlin turns his left foot onto it, out across midfield. Johnson picks it up for City FC.
Wheeler slipping to the back.
And he's not slipping unnoticed. When he starts sliding back, there's about 3 blue shirts going with him.
That's the only thing about being on a hot streak is everybody remembers who you are now.
And number 18 in white's not going to sneak around in the offensive third.
Especially not at his size.
Paul Nicholson checking him right now as Tyler Pollock deflects it away from Sean McLaws, the defender out of Oklahoma. A Coastal Carolina product, made 89 appearances. All at Coastal, 1 goal, 17 assists. He was Big South Defensive Player of the Year as a senior. Great defense by Tyler Pollock to pick it up for FC Cincinnati, and then Sean Okoli is fouled by Shane Johnson. There's that battle between those 2 big boys. Foul called on Johnson, and FC Cincinnati will get a chance to restart things behind the midfield stripe.
Every chance he gets, Johnson's going to get a little bit of a body on Okoli, because if Okoli can turn and face him, he's far more dangerous facing up, and he's got a little bit more speed. So he wants to keep his back, and he wants to keep him, well, on the ground in that case.
Last time that FC Cincinnati played a USL match was the last time they were at home 2 weeks ago tonight against Pittsburgh. A 1-0 victory over the Riverhounds, who have since made a coaching change. Off to a tough start to the year for Pittsburgh, but in that match, the first clean sheet of the season for Mitch Hildebrandt and this FC Cincinnati club, and that was an accomplishment that everybody was very happy with, and happy to get the first one in the books.
Definitely, and well-deserved. He's had some great games. We've had some defensive lapses that have led to goals.
FC Cincinnati welcomes EPL side Crystal Palace to Nippert Stadium on July 16th. Admission to see Crystal Palace is included in 2016 season tickets, and pro-rated season tickets are available today. Purchase yours by visiting fccincinnati.com or call 513-977-KICK.
Rumors are out there that Mario Balotelli is being looked at. So is Stevie Calkin, who played with England. So we could see some big names coming to Cincinnati.
Yeah, no question. I think it's very exciting. There was a ton of buzz when that announcement was made a week and a half ago, and I think that we will see Nippert Stadium at its capacity for the match against Crystal Palace on July 16th. Again, if you have season tickets, you have tickets, but starting June 1st, you will have the opportunity to buy 6 more tickets to that match, and then the public on sale will be shortly after that. Pat McMahon loses his balance but recovers well and able to keep the possession for the home club.
I want to remind everybody at home that Crystal Palace is a top-tier team in the EPL.
Yes.
And we're in the FA Cup final, winning in the final moments against Manchester United.
13 minutes remaining. They had a 1-0 lead.
Little dance by Pardew, thinking that it was in the bag.
Yes.
So this is a team coming to town that's bringing some great talent. This is great for all of our youth clubs to get out and see top-level soccer here in Cincinnati against our FC Cincinnati team.
Pat McMahon, just outside the 18, strikes it, then knocks it off to Corbin Bone as his shot was deflected. Bone to a Coley, who tapped it towards McLaughlin and Wiedemann. Nobody home. City FC breaks it up all the way out to Harrison Delbridge, and FC Cincinnati will push back towards their offensive third in hopes of getting a second goal before heading to the locker room at the half.
I talked to Coach Harks a little bit about Bone. I mentioned it earlier.
Misplayed by Mitch Hildebrand.
Dangerous opportunity.
As Burrill picked it up, Nicholson trying to slow him defensively, and now Nicholson will knock him over in a very dangerous free kick.
Tough
coming
foul.
up for City FC.
That is a dangerous location.
Just outside the 18, foul is called on Paul Nicholson as he knocks off Jose Burrill.
Burrill was trying to get him off balance so he could pull the trigger.
Easy call.
Easy call. And Paul could see McLaughlin coming back. He should have held him up and allowed the double team, but that's okay. Again, we manage our emotions. Now we just have to defend the fortress.
As Nicholson put his arms up high on Burrill, gave him a bit of a push to draw the foul.
Burrill's a smart player. You're in that spot. You can't get the shot. You're getting ready to get double teamed. You get the shove. I'm going to go over the top of the ball, too, and draw that foul. I was saying Coach Harks has been asking for Bone to sit in behind the forwards in that 10 spot and create more opportunities for Walker and Tomaselli. And you see Walker and Tomaselli are sort of managing the game now, which is great.
So a dangerous free kick coming here. Paul Wilson acting as though he's going to take it. He does. Mitch Hildebrand with a big save.
What a great ball from Wilson. Fantastic range.
City FC able to keep possession.
We're not out of the hole yet.
James Thomas into the box, right-footed, another save, Mitch Hildebrand, sent into the middle.
Get it out, and
Corbin Bone clears it.
Good step by the defense, everybody up, now they're getting on a mark.
2 huge saves by Mitch Hildebrand in the 45th minute, 2 minutes of stoppage time added by the 4th official. And boy, City FC had 2 great opportunities.
All
there,
positioning
Reed.
here. Wall gave him a block, great positioning, great explosion of the hands. Here's the second shot, deflection, and again, he was in a great spot. Good hands up in the ready position. Jamie Starr has done an excellent job with these keepers. He told me this week, he says, I'm putting them in real game-like situations, so they're used to it. That's a game-like situation that they worked on. It was him being in a spot where a ball maybe deflects.
When you can hear the cries of Mitch says no coming from the Bailey after those 2 saves. 3 saves in the first half for Mitch Hildebrand. Saving 72% of the shots on goal so far this year. A 1.11 goals against average coming in.
You know, Mitch has made the ESPN top 10 already for a double save.
Yeah, double
we may
save
see it again.
Toronto FC too. Great job there by Mitch Hildebrand to keep it 1-0. We're about halfway through, 2 minutes of stoppage time. Harrisburg City looking for one more opportunity. Paul Wilson swings it out to the far side of the pitch.
This time in the game, we call it the 5s and 2s. We tell our players 2 minutes after every goal score and 5 minutes at the start and end of each half.
Harrison Delbridge just took a knock in the box. Wheeler kicked him in the shin. I don't think we're going to see a booking, but we are going to get a foul called on Wheeler as Delbridge is slow to his feet.
Delbridge usually doesn't go down. I'd like to see that one again. Wheeler may have earned himself a card.
He extended.
A little bit
Clearly
from behind. It wasn't malicious. It was from behind, but I agree the ref not giving him a card there.
And there is the whistle from Kevin Terry. 45 minutes in the books here at Nippert Stadium. And a 1-0 advantage for FC Cincinnati. We'll hear from the gaffer as Lindsey Patterson is with John Harkes.
Coach, offensively attacking first, defensively 2 huge saves from Mitch Hildebrandt. Your guys really haven't skipped a beat. They look to be in control out there.
Yeah, great goal, by the way, by Andrew Wiedemann. Unbelievable distribution, combination, great chemistry there. Andrew's been on fire in training, so I'm happy for him because he really deserved that. On the other end, I think we're inviting too much pressure on ourselves, playing a little bit too slow out of the back. Got to clean that up.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Lindsey. Words from John Harkes as he heads to the locker room with Andrew Wiedemann, who has given the home club a 1-0 advantage. Halftime here in Cincinnati. When we return, we chat with Cincy native Austin Berry. 1-0 FC Cincinnati leading City FC. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Time Report is brought to you by the Healthcare Management Group, providing greater care for greater Cincinnati. Tom Glitter, happy to be back with you at Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati leading Harrisburg City 1-0, and now joined by Austin Berry, Cincinnati native, number 22 in orange and blue for the home club, but unfortunately not tonight. Austin Berry, good to see you tonight. I know it's been very exciting being back at home and been very frustrating the past month sitting out. First and foremost, I think everybody wants to know, how are you feeling?
Feeling better. Finally starting to jog this week. But with any muscle injury like this, you don't want to rush it because then you're not just dealing with it for the few weeks that I'm out, and you're dealing with it all season. So, we're pushing it when we need to push it, and then pulling it back when we need to. So
yeah, certainly the key not to bring you back for 2 games and lose you for 4 or 5 more.
Yeah.
To make sure that when you're ready to come back, that you can get out there and play 90 minutes if needed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, you had a great start to the season, especially here at Nippert Stadium. Every game that you played in at Nippert, you have scored in. April 9th, April 16th, scored in both of those matches. What has this homecoming been like for you?
No, it's been awesome. I still think it's weird to me, driving on all the old roads that I would do, going to select soccer back in the day or high school, but now I'm here playing professional soccer. And I was just joking with a few of our owners, like, I only like to score when I'm at home. So why don't we just you sign a new contract where I only have to play home games?
Well, you had that game winner in the first ever home match here at Nippert Stadium. You talk about maybe dreaming of this a little bit as a kid. What was your first reaction when you got the call? Obviously, you were playing in Asia at the time, so you were a long ways from Cincinnati. But when you first got that call, hey, FC Cincinnati's the real deal. Do you want to be part of it? What was your reaction?
Oh no, it was it was like I said, it was just weird, like thinking that Cincinnati was having a professional soccer because when I was growing up, we're a baseball and football city. So, as it went on, I know my family all called me separately saying, hey, there's a new soccer team. When are you signing? When are you coming back? Friends were saying the same thing, and it was still up in the air. But, talking to Coach Martin, Coach Harks throughout the year, it just felt right. And, I haven't looked back since. It's been awesome.
Well, finally in December, when you got back to the United States, you were announced as a member of this club. The fans have turned out in a big, big way. The Bailey is rocking with the smoke bombs and the drums.
Oh, yeah.
You've been part of the soccer community here. Did you think that it would blow up this fast?
No, not to this level. We've had a lot of excitement when we first signed and talking with family and friends who've never really watched soccer games before, and now they're season ticket holders. So we knew it was going to be a little bit big, but to have these kind of crowds night in, night out in bad weather it's just been unbelievable, and it's sending a message not just across the USL, but this whole soccer community.
I was going to say, you played at the highest level collegiately, played in a national championship game down the road when you were with the Louisville Cardinals. You were MLS Rookie of the Year. Has this club proven that they can compete and be there with the top programs in this country?
For sure. We're we've had great success in this short time that we've been together, but we always keep forgetting we've only been a team for 3-4 months now. Guys we've never played with each other, and to get these kind of results and to get this kind of crowd and this excitement in the city, it's fantastic. You couldn't ask for more right now, so I think we're definitely in the right path.
All right, Austin. Well, keep up the good work on the rehab. I saw you out there running about 2 hours before the match today. I know you're anxious to get back out there. Appreciate the time.
Yep, no, appreciate it for having me.
All right, that is Austin Berry, Cincinnati native. 2 goals here at Nippert Stadium this season and one against Louisville City on April 16th. So far, 1 tonight for his teammates. FC Cincinnati leading 1-0 here at home. We'll take a look at the first half highlights when we return. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Fastest growing companies, Road Dog Logistics, working like a dog to move your freight. FC Cincinnati and Harrisburg City in a physical battle. And Reed, there's been no lack of collisions here in the first half.
Not at all, coming from both teams. Unfortunately for Harrisburg, Wilson's sort of taking the brunt of the attacks, like this one right here. He gets it again from McMahon. None of them it's malicious, but he's definitely getting beat up a little bit. It helps FC Cincinnati to have him sort of off his game.
Remember, this is the second matchup between these two clubs this season. They ended in a draw at Harrisburg City, so they know each other already a little bit, and I mean, that a result of some of the physical play, but here comes a pretty play and the go-ahead goal for FC Cincinnati.
This goal by Wiedemann's a forwards goal. He lets the ball go first, but what I love about it is after he lets it go, you see him, he drifts back over to get it back. Fantastic first touch, takes his head up, finds that far post. That's a forwards goal, and of course John would love that.
Now John Hart's happy about it. Third goal of the season for Andrew Wiedemann, and then City FC trying to get back into it, and Mitch Hildebrand having other ideas.
Mitch coming up again, a big with ESPN type saves.
So Mitch Hildebrand, 2 big saves at the end of the half. We take a look at some of the numbers from the first half. 4 saves for Mitch Hildebrand, none at the other end for City FC. The foul 6 for City FC, 4 for FC Cincinnati. And just the one offside called on the home club, but on the scoreboard where it matters most, FC Cincinnati has the advantage.
Definitely. Now, like Coach Hark said, City Islanders have 6 shots. We'd like to stop asking so many questions of our defense, try to get a little bit more forward and take away some of those shots.
All right, second half is coming up next. We'll step aside and take a break. 45 more minutes of action coming your way from Nippert Stadium. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Tom Gletter, Reed Maltby back with you at Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati leading City FC 1-0 at the half. Both clubs have made their way out of their respective locker rooms and getting set for the final 45 minutes of action. Let's go down to the pitch and check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Lindsay Patterson.
Guys, I talked to FC Cincinnati assistant Jamie Starr as they were walking out of the locker room. He said, we have to do a better job of turning out, putting some pressure and going out a little bit because they're going a little bit negative plays out there. He says we just have to be locked in and engaged in the second half.
Well, Mitch Hildebrand certainly locked in the first half. 4 saves for FC Cincinnati's goalkeeper, and picking up really where he left off. He told me with that U.S. Open Cup match, I spoke with him on the pitch before the game, and he really wanted to play. He didn't even dress for the match. John Harkes had to shut him down, get him some rest, because he's had a lot of physical plays in goal this year. I think he's had 2 or 3 times that his head's been split open and has drawn blood, so he was anxious to play. He said, that's fine, I get to play Saturday against Charlotte. And then he didn't get to play against Charlotte, so he's been sitting for 2 weeks, and boy, has he answered the bell in the first half.
Well, and goalkeepers don't get tested as much as a player on the pitch. They see the ball less, so you want to keep that edge very sharp, and missing games is a lot of time off for a goalkeeper.
FC Cincinnati and Harrisburg City will switch ends of the pitch. That means the men in orange and blue will be attacking the goal right in front of the Bailey. That's where Kiesel Broom will settle in. Broom came in with a 1.00 goals against average. Had given up 2 in his 2 previous appearances, so on pace with that right now. And the visitors trailing by 1. FC Cincinnati will get the first touch of the second half, as everybody back out on the field and awaiting the signal from match official Kevin Terry.
Big key for FC Cincinnati the second half is right from the start to dictate the pace of play, take over the game again, force City FC to play their style.
Reed, what did you think FC Cincinnati did best in the first 45 minutes?
Maintaining focus. We weren't losing our marks in the box. We stayed with Wheeler. We didn't let Wilson get too wide, too rangy across the top like he likes to do. We were just much better at defending that fortress in that first half.
Bolduc loses it as Tyler Pollock comes up from behind and takes possession. Then Bolduc, a little frustration, commits the foul, and a free kick coming up for FC Cincinnati here in the 46th minute.
These guys aren't used to playing from behind. Last couple of games, they've gotten early leads in the first half and then sat back and parked the bus. Now they're actually having to come at us. I do have to go back to what I said. I have to agree with Coach Harkes. Even though we're much more focused this time, we still need to step forward a little bit and stop letting them play so much across the top of the box.
Tyler Pollock and Corbin Bones standing over the ball. Bones going to play it short to Pollock, on to Kenny Walker. Into the box, Delbridge and Okoli were there. Delbridge shot to play it, missed it. Jose Baril picks it up, but then loses it out along the far touchline.
Taking his time, letting Delbridge and Paulie get back on defense.
Paul Nicholson and Harrison Delbridge push all the way back out to midfield, and now Wiedemann will throw it in to Pat McMahon. Pushing up along the right side, we see McMahon and Pollock will play up the sidelines throughout the match. That's very much FC Cincinnati style.
I love that style because it allows your forwards to stay home a little bit more, get in front of the net. As Coach Hark says, a lot of the goals are scored 6, 8, 10 yards from net, which means we need our forwards home. We need our outside backs to get forward and serve balls in.
Harrisburg City trying to clear it, does so right out along the touchline. So throw in deep in the offensive third coming for FC Cincinnati. And Wiedemann is listening in on the conversation between Kevin Terry and his linesman on the far side.
The AR saw something in the box, probably a little tussling. He's warning the referee to look for it. These guys have done a great job of staying on top of this match.
Here's Wiedemann sending it in, headed away by Liam Doyle, 6'4" defender. Delbridge onto Okoli, back to Delbo. Delbo just outside the 18, loses it.
Reset it, they'll drop it back, reset it. Delbridge is going to stay up top though. They're going to use his height for a little bit. There it is, serving it over.
Kenny Walker onto Wiedemann,
Great
off his
first
chest.
touch.
Wiedemann touches it forward and then can't finish it. Was off the hands of Broom. Went out of bounds, and is it going to be a corner kick or a goal kick? Broom is arguing, which makes me believe, and it is. It's a corner.
This is a great serve. Backside guy gets lost. Lovely first touch to set the strike. He reared back a little bit, seeing the collision from the defender. Otherwise, that's on net.
And now they're going to switch the call and say, indeed, it is a goal kick for Broom, and I think the replay there confirmed it. Wiedemann had that second look, and on that look, he touched it out of bounds.
I think he was, he saw the post out of the corner of his eye, slowed up a little bit.
Yeah.
His legs got a little too short.
He was right there. Nearly had his second of the match and extended FC Cincinnati's advantage. Instead, it's 1-0 in the 49th minute. Wheeler got the ball at midfield, but headed it in the wrong direction. And then Kenny Walker picking it up for FC Cincinnati. Plays it off to his left. Corbin Bone and Jimmy McLaughlin unable to get there. Al Nicholson
Good
watching,
job.
or I'm sorry, Tyler Pollock watches it bounce out of bounds. McLaughlin has it deflected away.
You'll see a lot of this, taking our time to take throws in the second half. We have a lead. We need to force them into panic mode. There's no need for us to be impatient.
But by no means is FC Cincinnati going to park the bus, as you might say. They're not going to sit back and be happy with a 1-0 advantage. They know they had opportunities in the first half and that they can push it and build a bigger lead.
Hey, the best defense is more offense, more goals we pour in, the harder we make it on them. And this is Coach Hart's team. It's going to be an attacking
Here
team.
comes Pollock, Okoli, outside Bone. Bone with his left foot, back out across the box.
Great footwork out of both of those forwards.
Kenny Walker, a strike goes just wide. Broom extended for it. Walker had the look, scored a goal like that against Orlando City B, and nearly had his second of the year.
Great footwork by the forwards. Walker stepping up. I love the fact he's stepping up and taking a risk there.
FC Cincinnati has had great looks so far tonight. Tyler Pollock, a collision.
We may see a
with
card.
Bolduc. And Bolduc is in a great deal of pain.
I think we didn't get a card
his
there.
abdomen or his thigh?
Got the back of his leg.
Oh, his right knee, it looks like.
Yeah, he just came in hard. Yep, knee to knee, outstretched leg. Now, he didn't get a card probably because Wheeler didn't get one there at the end of the first half. Now we're even.
Well, I was just going to say, I feel like Kevin Terry's done a nice job of managing this match. There's been some hard knocks, but nothing egregious, and he's called fouls when necessary, calmed things down, but we haven't seen a booking yet.
No, and we may not. If we see a few more fouls like that, he may bring out a card just to slow the game down again.
Wiedemann trying to keep it in play along the touchline far side, sends it into the stands, so throw-in coming for City FC. Goal differential on the season for Harrisburg City, -1 for FC Cincinnati. Well, they came in at -1, so now -2 for FC Cincinnati, now +5. Not surprising considering their style of play. FC Cincinnati 5-2-2, unbeaten in their last 5 matches.
Great defense,
here
forcing
today.
them back into a panic mode. Kenny Walker not afraid to chase and force the long ball.
Delbridge collides with Wheeler.
There was an arm up on that one, and he was looking for the hit. He was looking for the hit. There needs to be a card. If you watch Wheeler on the replay, he found Delbridge first.
FC Cincinnati, look at the blood.
Yeah,
Delbridge is split open.
he looked
John
for.
Harks is going to lose his mind, as is Ryan Martin.
If you watch Wheeler, he was looking for Delbridge. He was trying to find him, and the elbow came out. The referees need to get this under control.
Yeah. He's not paying attention now. I just complimented Kevin Terry. Then he stopped paying attention, and it has gotten chippy and early. Jimmy McLaughlin is hot. Harrison Delbridge, I will tell you, is his roommate.
Now here is where Coach talked about managing emotions. We have got to get our guys under control. Coaching staff has to remind them we're up 1-0. We have this match. Relax.
So, and a red card has come out.
And
wow.
I have to be honest with you, it's well-deserved. He was looking for the hit. I like the way Wheeler's been playing, but that was unprofessional.
Where was the card for the last 2 minutes while Harrison Delbridge is bleeding on the pitch?
To be honest, he was doing his job. He conferred with his other referees. He made sure it was the right call. That's a tough call to make in a match like this. And he took his time. And if you watch Wheeler, he's looking. He looks over his shoulder. He found Delbridge.
Oh, it's completely intentional.
Yeah.
You can see on the replay.
Now, I
he
think
swings
prior
that
to
left
that,
elbow right into his head.
Prior to that, as he was coming over, he was locating Delbridge. And he came in, and that elbow was up.
So, Kevin Terry, you're back on my good side now that I've seen the replay 2 or 3 times. There is no question that the red card is warranted. Aaron Wheeler, one of the most prolific scorers for Harrisburg City, is headed to the locker room in the 53rd minute after being booked with a red card. You see Angelo Colosimo out on the field attending to Harrison Delbridge. Now, the key for FC Cincinnati is, can they keep Harrison Delbridge? How bad is the wound? Can they keep him in? And I know that Dr. Colosimo is going to do everything he can to try and keep FC Cincinnati's defender in the match.
So that's on the cheekbone. That cheekbone splits that cheek splits very easily because the skin's on the bone. A lot of blood. It may not be that bad unless he got it up on the eye there. You may see a stitch or two. Now they need to check him for concussion. This is a difficult position to be in for FC Cincinnati. They have the lead.
Well, let's take a look at.
It's up on the cheek. Yeah,
and
he's
very
got it
swollen.
good.
I would think here that we're going to see a substitution from John Harks, if nothing else, to protect his defender. In the meantime, the medical staff continues to attend to Harrison Delbridge. You saw the elbow swung off the left arm of Aaron Wheeler. Kevin Terry got everything under control, conferred with his match officials, and then booked Aaron Wheeler. Let's take another look while Harrison Delbridge remains down on the pitch.
Let's see. If he had not brought that elbow up so high and been swimming with it, I'd say the card wasn't unwarranted. But that he came in looking to make contact.
And then you see, here's the emotions afterwards. Sean Okoli and Jimmy McLaughlin, they live with Harrison Delbridge. So you know the three of them are very close. And those were the two. And you can see Kenny Walker. Walker's one of the older veterans on this team, 26 years old. He's gathering everybody, pushing those guys back because you don't want to pick up a booking the other way unnecessarily and maybe negate your man advantage for the rest of the way.
Exactly. And that man advantage is dangerous. Teams that are down a player tend to play with more space and more reckless abandon. That may favor Harrisburg. So for us, we need to settle in, force them to chase, make them come to us.
So a lengthy delay here early in the second half as FC Cincinnati's medical staff trying to patch up Harrison Delbridge and keep him in the match. Right at midfield, John Harks, Ryan Martin, and the entire FC Cincinnati bench exploded on the play. Harrison Delbridge is up. Kevin Terry asks him if he's okay. He says he can go, and the big Aussie somehow appears as though he's going to stay in. Give Aaron Powell and Angelo Colosimo a lot of credit. They patched him up.
These guys should be fight doctors, too.
Well, Harrison Delbridge appears to be okay. Will stay in the match. And now FC Cincinnati with a man advantage for the rest of the match. We're in the 56th minute, already leading 1-0. And now's the time as Harrison Delbridge is waved back onto the pitch to push ahead, get another goal, and get a little insurance.
Definitely. I would stay on their game. I wouldn't change anything. Stay on mission here. Force them to chase us. They're the numbers down, so don't change how you play. Make them change.
Back heel ball is played to Jose Baril. Kenny Walker comes in tight. Foul is called.
He's going to be tight on the whistle for the next couple minutes to manage the emotions of the game. I'm okay with that. That was iffy, but I understand what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Harrisburg City with their back squarely against the wall, playing in front of a big crowd here at Nippert Stadium. Haven't seen an attendance number yet. Expected somewhere around 15,000.
This is a dangerous position because he can swing that ball in freely just out of Mitch's range and get it to, that's a great ball. Short, 1-1-1 isolation at the edge of the box.
Played it for Baril into the corner.
Good recovery by the boys in blue.
Turned away by Tyler Pollock. Jimmy McLaughlin taps it forward, but City able to recover.
We never could gain possession, but Wiedemann was sneaking out on the backside by himself. There's McMahon again. Every time you think you've served over him, the guy recovers and gets to that ball.
Almost set for our first substitution of the match is Craig Foster, another one of the Jamaican nationals, set to check in, a 5'10" forward for City FC. Will come in. Spent 2 years with the Jamaican under-20 team, now 24 years old, and he will replace Matthew Bolduck. Some fresh legs for Bill Becker and a chance because they got to find a way to get an equalizer, try to steal some points or at least get a point as they head home. And playing a man down certainly will be a challenge for Harrisburg City.
This, I think, was a substitution, put a little bit of speed on the field and see if they can't force us into a mistake, freeing up Wilson and Foster. Those two connected multiple times this season already.
Throw in for FC Cincinnati, far side of the pitch. Kenny Walker tapping it around with Ross Tomaselli. Now played backwards to Harrison Delbridge. And I'll tell you what, considering that first shot that we saw of Harrison Delbridge with the blood coming from his cheek, I'm shocked that he was able to stay in this match.
It may look a little bit like Rocky Balboa in the Tomorrow Morning, though.
Headed away on the defensive line by Harrisburg City.
Good hustle to keep it in.
Able to keep it in. Great play. Here comes Jimmy McLaughlin.
It's a dangerous spot for
Into
McLaughlin.
the middle of Coley. Couldn't quite turn on it. Didn't go through to Corbin Bone. And Delbridge heads it down as City was trying to get it out across midfield, but a good run there by FC Cincinnati, creating an opportunity.
So Harrisburg without the big guy up top. They're going to use Foster. He's solid. He's not as tall, but he's a solid guy, can play with his back to goal, but he's also got wheels and he sneaks in under defenses, so we have to be smart and stay disciplined on our marks.
Tomaselli to Nicholson and on to Walker across midfield. 60th minute. Corbin Bone to the offensive third. Into the 18. Bone looking to get his right foot on it. Has to back it off, send it into the box, and it skips into the paws of Kieselbroom, the 6-foot goalkeeper.
He was set up to hit a little curler to the back post if he'd pulled the trigger, just scuff it a little bit like Messi does, curl it around the keeper's hands. He decided to take one more touch, and that opportunity dissolved.
I think Corbin Bone has had really a fantastic game, the way
here comes the speed
that he's played and created offensive opportunities today.
Again, as long as he sits in behind those forwards, he's fantastic. The work of Tomaselli and Walker to keep him free.
Kenny Walker just got tied up with Jose Baril, who is
see another card
rolling around in pain. Walker not buying the pain. And John Harks is not happy by the reaction from Jose Baril. Right in front of FC Cincinnati's bench, and Baril continues to grab his left ankle. There's not going to be a booking on Kenny Walker no matter how long he lies there.
Oh, he barely got him. So I think his ankle got caught up underneath him a little bit, twisted. High ankle sprain is where he's grabbing. And we get the couple extra rolls for the cameras.
For dramatic. Keep up to date with the USL all season long by visiting the new USLsoccer.com for everything you need to know about the USL.
I was worried we were going to see a payback booking there. I'm glad we didn't. It wasn't much on the foul. He did get him a little bit. And again, I think he just got his ankle caught under.
Get the sense that there's a little bit of chippiness right now as we're 2/3 of the way through this match. John Harks gets a chance to chat things over with Kenny Walker and Corbin Bone, while Jose Baril continues to get his ankles. I think he's having both his ankles checked because he was definitely grabbing his left ankle moments ago. Now the trainer's attending to his right ankle. So
sure what's
Baril in a bit of pain following the collision with Kenny Walker. He is back onto his feet. And you go back to your keys to the match from 60 minutes ago. Controlling your emotions. John Harks wanted to make sure that FC Cincinnati controlled their emotions coming out early. Another big crowd, having not played a league match in 14 days. But now in these last 30 minutes, it's incredibly important to control your emotions.
We've got the 1-0 lead. We've got the red card, so we have numbers up. Now we're starting to get a little too hyper. Settle back in, control those emotions, take our game to them.
Jimmy McLaughlin forward to Sean Okoli. Okoli pulling it towards the corner.
Hit the reset button.
Yep.
There's no hurry. That's a great ball.
Walker back to Polak. Polak looking to swing it in with his left foot. Does so to Corbin Bone. He tried to back heel it.
That's where Walker's
wide.
dangerous, is those little no-look passes. He splits the defense. Unlucky on the serve.
I think we've said it on just about every broadcast this season, but the chemistry between these guys, when you look at when they came together and first had their very first practice together, the first week of February, and now we're getting ready to turn the calendar to June. Sure, that's 4 months, but that's it. Most of these guys have never played together. Ross Tomaselli, Corbin Bone have some experience together. Of course, Kenny Walker and Austin Berry, who's injured, played together in college. But these guys don't have a ton of experience, and the chemistry, those back heels, those no-look passes have been really on point and impressive considering this is an expansion side.
I'll tell you what, culture eats talent for breakfast any day, and this team has both talent and culture. Coach has done a great job of gelling these guys together. His training sessions are on point with them, and they just did a fantastic job of picking the right mix of rookies, veterans, and middle players.
Sean Okoli looking for a long ball. Johnson plays it the other way for City FC. Paul Wilson, who had a rough first half, was knocked down a few times on tough collisions, turning it around at midfield. onto the foot of Sean McClaws. McClaws will send it across the pitch.
That's a Mitch ball. Yes.
And Mitch Hildebrand wisely reads it, comes all the way out 17 yards to the top of the 18 and picks it up.
That was positioning again. He was in the right spot to be able to step up and win that ball. And again, great goalkeeping is preventing shots in the first place, which is exactly what he did.
Wiedemann picking up in the offensive third for FC Cincinnati, and a bit too aggressive in the back of James Thomas. Foul will be called, and it'll turn the action the opposite direction.
If I'm Wiedemann there, he's got his back to us. He's got nowhere to go. There's no need to foul him. There's no need to get chippy. Force him to continue to go back, and we can get numbers in behind and defend it. Just let him be.
Brooms pushing everybody up. If you are just joining us, FC Cincinnati leading 1-0 thanks to a goal by Andrew Wiedemann in the 19th minute on an assist from Pat McMahon, third of the season for Wiedemann, and FC Cincinnati with the lead, now playing with a man advantage thanks to a red card against one of the prolific scorers for City FC, Aaron
Great
Wheeler.
touch by Wilson.
Wilson loses the ball out along the end line, and a goal kick coming up for Mitch Hildebrand. So man advantage the rest of the way for FC Cincinnati. Aaron Wheeler sent to the locker room.
Acres of space in the midfield right now for Walker and Tomaselli to work with this numbers advantage.
FC Cincinnati knocking it around the midfield. Have you seen any change in the shape for Harrisburg City now that they know they're down by one and without Aaron Wheeler?
Yeah, a little bit more. They're running more like a 4-3-2. They've pushed both of the Jamaican players up top to try to create opportunity. They don't have a target anymore.
McLaughlin looking for his target of Coley, ends up in the foot or into the chest of Broom.
So honestly, a slight change. I think if Wheeler were still in the game, you'd see Wilson and Foster sitting in behind him again in that 4-3-2-1.
Harrison Delbridge, who was on the receiving end of the elbow that sent Wheeler to the locker room, knocks it out right at midfield, so a throw in for City FC.
My only concern with him now is balls swung into the box. Is he going to be a little gun shy going for head balls?
Sean McClaws throws it into Paul Wilson, who loses it out of bounds. Tyler Pollock will throw it in, and Delbridge had a header about a minute after he returned to play. I imagine we will see quite a bit of stoppage time added on by the fourth official once we get to the 90th minute, due to the amount of time it took the medical staff to patch up Harrison Delbridge. But again, a lot of blood drawn and a great job by the medical staff to keep Harrison Delbridge in this match.
Tom, the other thing we tell our players is you've got to get up and protect yourself, so you need your arm up a little bit as a protection barrier when you're going for head balls. He came up with both arms out, so he was open to catch an elbow.
Pat McMahon onto the far side. Now Ross Tomaselli.
Great offensive shape right now out of FC Cincinnati. You see it gives them the opportunity to find open spaces. Players are able to slip into seams and receive balls. They're just going to play around until they've got a gap, and then they'll try to penetrate into the next level.
Here comes Kenny Walker into the offensive third. Chips it forward for McLaughlin. Splits two defenders, taken down.
He's not
and
going to call
fans
that.
in the Bailey wanted to see a penalty. No whistle from Kevin Terry, and I think it was good defense by City FC.
Savvy defense, yes. It may have obstructed him a bit. You're never going to get that call, so that's savvy defense there.
Kenny Walker called for a ticky-tack foul on a collision with James Thomas, far side of the pitch. Again, the fans here at Cincinnati don't like the whistle.
They'll never agree with whistles against us.
Replay can show that it's accurate 10 times out of 10. And the hometown fans are going to disapprove. That's just the way it goes. It's not exclusive to soccer by any means.
But you have to love that hometown advantage.
Out across midfield, Delbridge trying to track it down. Dangerous
Oh, that's
ball.
a beautiful save.
Ends up on the foot of McClaws, and Hildebrand came forward for yet another huge save.
You can't help but get excited over a great save.
And here come the cheers and the chants of Mitch Says No on the fifth save of the match by Mitch Hildebrand, and another big one. Sean McClaws made a great run, and Hildebrand came off his line to keep it at 1-0.
Looked like Delbridge was a little hesitant there on that ball. Again, he just took a knock to the face. And then when he tried to head it back, it was a little weak. Mitch was in great position to make the save.
Burrill into the middle. Kenny Walker disrupts.
It's a great outlet ball. Now we've got numbers up. That's what we've been working on all week.
Corbin Bone outside to Wiedemann.
Great run by Bone. Now he'll sit back into a seam if he can.
Wiedemann skying it across the 18. Over to Jimmy McLaughlin. Almost all the way to the touchline. McLaughlin left-footed and loses it as it goes out along the end line, skying over the goal.
Here comes Hildebrandt's save. Notice on this, he's a little hesitant, not sure what to do, then tries to head it back. Hildebrandt's in a great position. Big boy gets wide, creates the opportunity, or creates the save.
It's Craig Foster who played it forward. Did it go off his face?
Off his hand. Great hands.
Hand went up right there.
Yes.
Hard to tell either way. Hey, doesn't matter if you use your feet, your legs, your chest, your hands. Your head, it's a save.
Save is a save, and you're taught to get big there and create a lot of area for the ball to hit. He did, and he got the hand up.
Tell you what, we still have 20 minutes to play plus stoppage time here in Nippert Stadium, but Mitch Hildebrandt making his case for USL Team of the Week
Most
in the
definitely.
goalkeeper position right now. Corbin Bone tracking it down. Great job of keeping in play. Over
Great
to
spot to
McMahon.
swing it in.
Across
Unlucky,
the middle,
no backside
nobody
run.
there. McClaws heads it out along the end line, so the corner kick coming up for FC Cincinnati. All of the 7 subs are up, moving around. We have yet to see John Harks go to the bench. Just 1 sub so far for Bill Becker. That was Craig Foster checking in.
As long as we have pace here, he's going to leave the guys as long as he can, wear down Harrisburg before he puts fresh legs in. Interestingly, though, he doesn't have Muhammad with him this time, who comes in and has a lot of pace and gets in there, mixes it up.
Antoine Hopino dressing instead of Muhammad today. Ball swung in the middle. Paul Nicholson was trying to get there as Kiesel Broom went flying through the air. The ball went out along the end line. It'll be a goal kick for Broom. So Hopino, one of the guys that is available for John Harks, and Omar Muhammad for the first time. Mojo not available.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a substitution of like Luke Spencer or maybe the big cat.
Omar Cummings.
Try to get some offensive power in there. They're tired in the back. Spencer brings size to the top for us.
It's about 80 degrees when this match began an hour and a half ago. Probably mid-70s right now, but it is humid here in Cincinnati. Now, as we mentioned, FC Cincinnati was unable to play last Saturday, so many of the regulars have not played in 2 weeks, did not play in the U.S. Open Cup match, so they are well rested. John Harks, I wondered if, without having a match last weekend, if maybe he would have a scrimmage at home on Saturday just to give them a little bit of competitive time out on the pitch. Instead, he gave everybody a full weekend off. After training on Friday, they were able to go home if they wanted. They were able to explore Cincinnati, do whatever they wanted. It gave them both a mental and physical rest.
We tell our youth coaches all the time, you have to consider rest as part of the training process. He did that, culturally allowed the guys to see some family time, which helps build that team community morale. And you're right, they got to hit the reset button, which is huge.
Corbin Bone tapping it out, was trying to feed it to fellow midfielder Kenny Walker, intercepted by City FC. 72nd minute. Tom Glitter, Reed Maltby, Lindsey Patterson with you. FC Cincinnati with a 1-0 lead here at home.
It's great positioning on the defense there. Lovely
Kenny
penetration
Walker.
ball.
On to Sean Acoli, right at the top of the 18. Froze for a moment, then hit it with his left foot, deflected away. Tyler Pollock picks it up.
Good recovery, unlucky.
Kenny Walker got his hand on it as he was trying to slide it away.
Okay, he
Did
just
they
got a
call it?
warning.
Yeah.
No more.
Kenny Walker needs to be careful.
I think he got him for the afters here. He comes through the body a little. Oh, yeah, he got him for the afters.
I was wrong. I thought I saw his hand swipe the ball. That was not the case. It was certainly the leg swipe after the fact.
After the ball was gone, that second leg came through that, and he got his final warning.
Have yet to see anybody on FC Cincinnati get booked. Claus plays it backwards, now turned forwards to the head of Foster, rolls off to Delbridge, and backwards to Paul Nicholson.
Delbridge, I love the fact that he then spans out, creates space so we can outlet the ball if we need to.
Ross Tomaselli, Tyler Pollock.
Coach played some transition games this week, working on finding that space away from the defense. Quick, short passing, and then can we serve a ball out into space where we have a numbers up situation? You can see the guys working on it now.
Delbridge right at midfield, and FC Cincinnati very methodical right now about pushing to the offensive third. Paul Nicholson will turn it around.
Tom, I have to tell you, I'm a little surprised that Harrisburg City is sitting back so much. That they're not bringing the game, they're not panicking yet, but they're 15, a little bit more than 15 minutes to go.
Corbin Bone tapped it forward. There came the attack. Finally, FC Cincinnati got it rolling. Now City FC will push it midfield. Paul Wilson.
Good recovery runs, nice team up there. That's the beauty of being a man up, is you can double team and triple team guys. Oh, unlucky on the touch. Great recovery.
Yeah, great job by Pat McMahon to turn it the other way. Now played forward for Wiedemann. He has the go-ahead goal right now.
Good ball
Tapped
in.
in the middle. Coley turns right-footed shot. A huge save by Broom.
Broom is proving why he belongs in that net right
Wiedemann
now.
into the box. Picked up and taken away by Jose Baril. But Kiesel Broom with a huge save at point-blank range. Sean Coley said, come get some, and Broom did.
Yeah, Broom is proving why he belongs there right now.
Paul Wilson and Foster, two Jamaicans making a quick run the other way for City FC. Sean McClaws in the offensive third. 75th minute, remains 1-0 in favor of FC Cincinnati. Corbin Bone has it taken away by Bobby Warshaw. Warshaw into the middle of the pitch. And City pushing back offensively. McClaws into the box, over the head of Mitch Hildebrandt, out along the end line. Let's go down to the pitch and check in with Lindsey Patterson.
As you guys know, there's a lot of emotions in this second half. One thing John Harkes has really been preaching to his guys out here, they got to stick together and figure out a way to manage those emotions for the rest of the half.
John Harkes going to the bench for the first time today. Eric Stevenson will check in, and Corbin Bone will step out. Stevenson, the native of Columbus, Ohio, making his 6th appearance of the season. We just saw the attendance number, 16,097 taking in this one. So another good crowd in excess of 15,000. That is 4 of 5 home USL matches in excess of 15,000 fans here at Nippert Stadium. And the only one that didn't get to 15,000 is because it was driving rain and about 45 degrees.
You're seeing why we love soccer here in Cincinnati. You're seeing great support for this team.
77th minute, 1-0 in favor of FC Cincinnati. Stevenson, who just checked in, by the way, does have 1 goal on the season. Of course, he played on that Akron team that won the 2010 National Championship, defeating 2 of his teammates, Austin Berry and Kenny Walker, with Ken Lola and the Louisville Cardinals. Of course, Caleb Porter has gone on to do a few things since winning that national championship in 2010. MLS champs last year with the Portland Timbers. Stevenson in the midfield.
Look at the numbers over here. That's a great job of getting out of it.
So much space for FC Cincinnati to work up the near side of the pitch.
I'm excited to see Stevenson. He's got a great future. He's been looking great in training all week. Nice touch.
Polaka, pretty move, leaves it for Kenny Walker.
Again, rotating it where we have numbers and space. We have the luxury to do that with the number.
Nearly a foul on Wiedemann as James Thomas racing up the other way.
Great recovery. That was foot the ball. He's going to get a card
at midfield. Thomas is taken down. Pat McMahon goes into the book in the 78th minute.
I think he got him for the way he came back, but I really thought he got ball. He may have gotten man after it.
Second yellow card of the season for McMahon. FC Cincinnati getting set for their second substitution. As Jimmy
He got the man over the top of the ball. He got ball first, but he went over the top.
McLaughlin's going to come out, and Antoine Hoppenot will come in. So a booking for FC Cincinnati, their first of the night. And a free kick coming up for City FC right at midfield. into the box for Johnson, put his head onto it. Then it was picked up by Craig Foster. That substitution, by the way, when Eric Stevenson came in, there was also a substitution for City FC. Cardell Benbow checked in, the native of Kingston, Jamaica. So right now, for City FC, all three of their Jamaican nationals are on the pitch.
And Benbow has been dangerous. He finds gaps, he gets into seams, and he's hit some pretty wily shots lately.
There you see Antoine checking in and Jimmy checking out in the 79th minute. Fresh legs for Antoine. Corner kick swung into the box, deflected away. Sean Nicoli playing back. When you're up 1-0, everybody has to help try to finish out that clean sheet. Sean Nicoli was back there and cleared it out of the box.
Sean doing his job, coming back and defending the fortress. It takes 11 guys to defend that goal, not just the keeper.
Absolutely, and Mitch will be the first to tell you that clean sheet was a team effort 2 weeks ago. FC Cincinnati, 5 straight unbeaten. And looking for their 6th win on the season in USL play. Wiedemann played it to Okoli, had to slow down his run just a hair. Now Okoli will give it back. Wiedemann has the lone goal of this match. Tomaselli and Stevenson knocking it back and forth together. Walker out at midfield.
I like what Tomaselli was doing there. He's getting Stevenson touches, allowing him to settle in the game. The nerves go away each time you touch the ball more and more.
Pat McMahon out wide. Over to Nicholson, now back to Delbridge. Across the midfield stripe to Kenny Walker. Walker with a little bit of space, got it forward to Okoli, who was shoved. No call on what could have been a foul against Johnson. Right at the top of the 18, City FC has numbers the other way as McClaws brings it up the touchline.
Good step, unlucky.
Intercepted. Tyler Pollock got in the way of McClaws. Baril out into the midfield. And across the middle, it's Paul Wilson. Claus just outside the box, headed into the middle, but nobody home. Ross Tomaselli able to track it down for the orange and blue. Pollock into the midfield. Played forward by City FC. Warshaw trying to inch it back into the offensive third, and finally he does to McClaws, and then headed away by Pollock. Unlucky, however, the way that he headed it. And he's a good 20 yards away from the end line, but got his head onto it, and he goes out along the end line, so a corner kick coming up for City FC.
Coach works a lot on set pieces. These are dangerous. They're missing their biggest size, but they still have Johnson
Short
and
corner.
Boyle in there.
Baril gives it to McClaws. Nobody was there. Really, all the defenders were packed around the 6-yard box, and FC Cincinnati gets lucky that McClaws didn't get a better look. In the meantime, Hopino gets cut down at midfield, and the yellow card will come out as James Thomas tripped up Antoine Hopino.
He was not the last man, but he definitely was in free air there, so he has to give the card. Great little ball, blind ball into space. You can see here, he knows he's not the last man. He's just going to stick the foot up and pull him down. He won't get the red, but he at least slows down the play. That's a professional foul.
FC Cincinnati playing with a man advantage after Aaron Wheeler was sent to the locker room in the 53rd minute. Now remember, that means that he cannot play on Friday at Wilmington. So he is automatically suspended for one match. Jose Baril already playing on 4 yellow cards. His 5th yellow card would result in a suspension. Not saying we'll necessarily see it here in the next 7 minutes plus stoppage time, but it's a tough situation for Harrisburg City, who's actually been playing really well lately. Stevenson sends it into the box. Hopino trying to track it down in the corner. He does and gets it out to Pollock.
Hopino wasn't making the run, but that was actually a brilliant ball by Stevenson, finding that little seam there. Good vision.
Nicholson back to McMahon, far sideline, 84th minute. FC Cincinnati at home this season, 2-1-1. Of course, they won in the first game ever here at Nippert against Charlotte. Eric Stevenson dancing around the midfield.
on a spectacular inaugural goal, and
Yeah.
a goal by the hometown boy.
Yeah, Sean Coley with a scissor kick, and then the hometown boy, Austin Berry, was our halftime guest with the game winner. Couldn't have written it up any better.
Perfect script.
Coley back to Ross Tomaselli, over to the far side, Wiedemann. Derek Luke, a defender, getting set to check in for John Harps. That'll be his third substitution.
He might take Delbridge out because of that head injury.
Delbridge hasn't missed many minutes this season. Nicholson pushing forward, and it'll roll out of bounds and go to Harrisburg City. Delbridge was actually injured in the first ever match for his club on the road at Charleston. He was injured in the first half, and then they made the substitution to start the second half, so he missed the final 45 minutes there. Otherwise, he has played almost every minute this season. Ross Tomaselli and Paul Wilson battling along the end line. And an award a corner to City FC.
Good use of the body by Wilson there to create that corner.
Wilson will swing it in from the far side, 85th minute. Harrisburg trailing by a goal. Tyler Pollock will come out, so Derek Luke will replace Pollock. Luke, a native of Bridgewater, New Jersey. This is his 9th appearance. All of them have come off of the bench.
Pollock's doing
Oh, no,
the
I'm sorry, he
crosswalk
does have
draw.
one start on the season. He played 90 minutes. He started against Harrisburg.
He's going a little
Yeah.
faster now. He was doing the crosswalk jog where you make it look like you're going fast, but you're taking your time.
Tyler Pollock, and a big round of applause as he heads to midfield and will be replaced by Derek Luke. City FC looking to make a substitution as well. Paul Wilson, plenty of time to think about this corner kick. Here it comes.
Johnson very handsy on the back post.
Mitch Hildebrand got a hand on it and swatted away. It'll be a corner from the other side now. Hildebrand skying through the air.
Good range again, knows where his back post is. All it takes is a touch. Let's see, watch Johnson again fighting with Nicholson. He's very handsy in there.
Wilson with the right foot. Into the 18, deflected away by Paul Nicholson. Ross Tomaselli intercepts the pass from Burrill, but Wilson takes it right
Great
back.
defense.
Two defenders collide. Delbridge going to let it go out along the end line, and a goal kick for Mitch Hildebrand. FC Cincinnati did a good job of snuffing that one out.
That's where Wilson's dangerous. He finds those seams. Usually gets that ball back post. That was well defended.
87th minute. Again, due to the injury and the booking in the 53rd minute, when Harrison Delbridge took an elbow, we're probably looking at 5 minutes of stoppage time easy.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was less than that.
Brett Jankowskis, the forward out of Sacramento, California, checks in the 86th minute, or 87th minute. Now Ross Tomaselli will come out, and Evan Lee, a 6'4" defender, comes in. And now you're going to start to see a little bit more of a defensive shape from FC Cincinnati, an opportunity for John Hark's troops to hold on, leading by 1.
Coach just shoring up the back a little bit. If I were FC Cincinnati, though, I wouldn't keep the attack off. Don't change the way you're playing at this point.
Third appearance of the season for Evan Lee. Here comes Eric Stevenson. Stevenson into the box, has it deflected away. Well defended by City FC. That was Liam Doyle who got his foot on it to disrupt the run by Stevenson. Derek Luke playing it up the near sideline. Hopino goes right around the defender, Burrill. Hopino into the box.
Oh, that's
Hopino
gonna get
taken
called.
down in the box. And here comes a
And we may
penalty
see a call.
right in front of the Bailey. Late fireworks coming here at Nippert Stadium, and a booking for City FC. Sean McClaws cuts down Antoine Hopino.
There's no doubt he's in on goal. There's no attempt at the ball at that point. I'm surprised at
Maybe I jumped the gun. There was no booking. He didn't pull a card.
I'm surprised at that. Last defender from behind in the box.
So no booking, but a penalty coming. And who is going to take it? It looks like Shauna Coley. It was Omar Cummings in the penalty kick at the other end in the U.S. Open Cup match 10 days ago. And Okoli's holding the soccer ball. This is Sean Okoli's penalty kick, looking for his 4th goal of the season.
You know, Coach finished Friday's practice with a PK challenge. I wouldn't want to be Broom trying to make these saves in front of the Bailey.
Kiesel Broom, his 3rd start of the season. Trailing 1-0. Can Sean Okoli ice it here at Nipper? Right in front of the Bailey, Okoli will stand. Here we go. Sean Okoli puts it in the net. NFC Cincinnati has a 2-0 advantage. And some fireworks after the PK. Hopenote making a run, ended up being shoved into the goal as City was trying to get the ball forward. But the most important thing is the PK is successful, and Sean Okoli gives the home lads a 2-0 lead.
Keeper guessed the wrong way. Okoli, nice and calm. He's watching the keeper the whole time. He sees where he's going, plays it the other way. You can see he's looking up. He's looking up. He knows exactly where the keeper is. Class move by Broom. Little tussle in the net. Broom held back FC Cincinnati player and said, let's just play soccer.
Antoine Hopenoe plays with a lot of passion. 2 yellow cards for Hopenoe this season, and this is now his 7th appearance, so good job to get emotions under control after the goal.
You know, Tom, I'd usually say a 2-goal lead is one of the toughest leads to have, but with limited time, we just have to, 6 minutes.
6 minutes of stoppage time.
So we have 6 minutes to work with this 2-goal lead.
That goal by Sean Okoli is 4th of the season. So he got a little bit of company from Andrew Wiedemann, who picked up his 3rd to tie him for the team high, and now he pushes back ahead.
Good job of taking it deep.
So we are into stoppage time now.
What you'll see now is clock management. They'll get balls to the corner, they'll take it deep, they'll get balls up top, they'll take their time on every throw-in and set piece. You can see the ball players were sort of non-existent there.
There's nobody down in the corner. If they went home, or City FC actually went and got the ball and gave it to Derek Luke to throw in.
Who was in no hurry to go get it himself.
So about 5 minutes of stoppage time remaining. 3 points on the line for FC Cincinnati, looking for their 6th win on the season. They have 17 points right now. That is good for tied at 4th place with Charlotte, who they were supposed to play last Saturday, and that match did not happen.
That weekend off caused us to dip a little bit, but these 3 points help us move back up.
I'll tell you what, FC Cincinnati has not looked rusty despite the layoff.
Kudos to the coaching staff for keeping these guys sharp all week.
Paul Nicholson off his head to Luke. Knocked away by Jankowskis. And then FC Cincinnati will clear it into the stands, and a throw-in coming. Omar Cummings will sub in for FC Cincinnati at the next opportunity. And he will replace Sean Okoli, who scored moments ago. So that'll give you 4 Jamaicans on the pitch. And I'll tell you what, Omar Cummings came up to me this week. Apparently half of Jamaica is referring to him as Big Cat now. Because I referred to him as Big Cat on the broadcast. He said he started getting texts from people back at home saying, "Nice work, nice match, Big Cat." And he's like, "How do you know that I'm the Big Cat?" Or that's what the gaffer calls me. And they let him in on the secret. The cat is out of the bag, I guess.
Well played. That was the first thing I was told. His name is Big Cat.
Ratings are high in Jamaica, apparently.
Especially right now.
Yeah, no doubt. City FC fighting for about another 4 minutes, nearly headed in the direction of Mitch Hildebrandt by Harrison Delbridge. A very dangerous ball across the mouth of the goal.
You're taught as a forward, you get that deep, you want to fire that across. He did. You never know if there's a deflection.
Corner for Paul Wilson, one of those 4 Jamaicans. Into the box, it goes by everyone. Rolls across the pitch, and City FC does a great job keeping it in. Delbridge knocks it away. It'll just be a throw-in. Here's Burrell.
Great pace and save there, and Warshaw chasing it down.
Into the middle. Onto the far side, Wilson.
Not much room to play. We're doing a great job of dropping in and taking marks and taking passes away.
Wilson tripped over the ball on a Whistle was blown by Kevin Terry. Bit of a odd foul call. And didn't seem that there was much contact. Defender was a good yard or two off of it. But doesn't matter. Free kick coming from a dangerous spot. About 8 or 9 yards outside of the 18.
Dangerous because he can serve it to the back post and catch Mitch off his line, but also because you got two guys that can both strike balls well from range.
Burrill and Paul Wilson both have registered goals this season. It'll be Wilson taking it with his right foot. Deflected away by Kenny Walker out into the midfield. About 4 minutes into 6 minutes of stoppage time. Sent into the middle. Headed across the box. And onto the right. Bobby Warshaw. Kenny Walker trying to clear it out. Warshaw continues the battle.
Nice footwork from Warshaw there to stay.
Hopino is knocked down just outside of the 18. He'll grab his knee on the contact with Warshaw. And Hopino, whether he's in a great deal of pain or not, is going to take his time getting up and let the clock run.
Frustration foul. It wasn't malicious. He was frustrated, lost possession, and you can see he just swings the leg.
Yeah. And could have been booking. I don't think there's any question the way he swung his leg into the back.
He got him pretty good.
Warshaw has been sent home early in a match this season. Had a red card earlier this year.
You know, on a second look, I called it. They said he wasn't malicious, but he definitely went at the player. He went at Hopino.
Mitch Hildebrand out across the middle of the pitch. About 1 minute remaining in stoppage time as FC Cincinnati again is going to take their time throwing it in. Now just about 60 seconds away from 3 points.
Great job of holding up the ball there. Now we're going to get in deep.
Eric
It's a lovely
Stevenson,
entrance
Omar
pass.
Cummings. Cummings in the inside the 18.
Lucky.
Is knocked down as he was trying to turn on in and shoot. Didn't get the opportunity. Cummings checked in for Shauna Coley, who scored on the penalty kick moments ago. Hildebrand, a nice ball up the pitch and then off the back of the foot of Wiedemann. Cummings will let it roll slowly out on the far sideline. That's a veteran knows not to track it down.
No need to.
Right?
We're forcing them to play around the back, which is killing time. Good shape defensively. Harrisburg's got to show a little more urgency here.
They are quickly running out of seconds. Right side, here's Benbow. Just outside the box, Walker steps up to him defensively. Luke is there as well. Benbow in the middle puts it into the side of the net. Now we will await the whistle from Kevin Terry Jr. John Harks is calling for it. This is the first of 4 straight Saturdays that FC Cincinnati is at home. Great opportunity to collect a bunch of points. And as soon as we hear that whistle, FC Cincinnati is going to tack 3 more points on in the standings, and I would imagine it's coming as soon as Mitch Hildebrand puts his foot into it. Will it be a second clean sheet in as many home appearances? Yes, it will. A 2-0 victory for FC Cincinnati. Andrew Wiedemann with what ends up being the game winner in the 19th minute. And then Shauna Coley on the penalty kick in the 89th minute. 6th win on the season for FC Cincinnati. Let's go out to the pitch where Lindsey Patterson is with the gaffer.
Coach, you said your defense is really starting to understand to move and manage another clean sheet. You could see that there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we addressed it at halftime before we went in, and I thought, we were dropping off a little bit too deep and playing slow down in the back. Our spacing became a little bit better in the second half, and then it's always good, to bring out some fresh legs. I thought Antoine Hopino was a great injection into the game. He creates the opportunity going forward for the penalty for Hugo. We closed it out, so a very good team, very organized. They worked hard, Harrisburg, and our guys did well. They deserved it.
Credit to your guys for really managing emotions after that second half collision, too.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Credit to your guys for really managing emotions after that second half collision.
Yeah, especially I think when, a reckless challenge comes like that on Harrison Delbridge, his cheekbone split from an elbow, and I think the guys, we just said, don't get hot-tempered, just manage it. That's part of the game, and let's get on with it. So I was proud of the guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
FC Cincinnati with the win at home. 3rd time they've been victorious at Nippert Stadium, and they did it in front of 16,000 plus. They are dancing in the Bailey here in the Queen City, and Shauna Coley, the second goal tonight. It came on a penalty kick, and FC Cincinnati comes away with the win. We'll recap the match when we return. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Six straight in USL play, unbeaten for FC Cincinnati. A win at Nippert Stadium by a final tally of 2-0. Tom Glader and Reed Maltby happy to be back with you as we get a chance to recap tonight's match. And tonight's post-match highlights are brought to you by Toyota. For all Toyota offers, including those not seen on TV, go to Toyota's official website for deals at buyatoyota.com. And Reed, this one was physical from the get-go, as we saw some hard knocks in the first half.
I think we're seeing a rivalry in the making here. You see Nicholson with Pop, Wilson gets it. And then, of course, the bloody Delbridge.
It was Wilson who took the tough knocks early, and then the play that really changed things. Delbridge bloodied and Wheeler sent off.
But the player of the game for me is Mitch Hildebrand. He makes two great saves back-to-back here. He keeps his composure, great hands, and then he makes a key third save on a slight mistake in the second half. Just great positioning, great use of the hands to make the save.
And how did FC Cincinnati win it? Well, here's your game winner. Andrew Wiedemann with a beautiful shot, upper 90, perfection.
Forwards goal, he leaves the ball, he drops back into space to get it back. Great first touch and sees that back bar just on a rope.
So John Harks was happy at 1-0, but happier at 2-0 in the PK from Shauna Coley, his fourth goal of the season.
Good composure, he watches the keeper, he tucks it away, the keeper goes the other direction.
So a clean sheet, two great goals for FC Cincinnati, and an all-around good effort at home. Win number 6 on the campaign is in the books. We'll wrap it up when we return. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Tom Glader and Reed Maltby with you at Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati improves to 6-2-2 on the season. They drop the Harrisburg City Islanders to 4-6-1 on the campaign. Third home win of the year. Sets up an interesting matchup on Wednesday outside of USL play at the Tampa Bay Rowdies, as this club will try to advance in the U.S. Open Cup. But right now, let's get to tonight's moment of the match. It's brought to you by the Cincy Brew Bus, Cincinnati's original and premier craft brewery, winery, and distillery tours. The moment of the match, Reed, no question, that double save by Mitch Hildebrand starting on the free kick.
No question at all. At this point in the game, if that ball goes in, it's a different ball game. He keeps the game alive, defends the fortress. That's the difference in the game right there.
Yeah, Harrisburg City finds an equalizer in the first half. Then it's 1-1. It may be a little bit different, as you said, moving forward. Instead, Hildebrand gets two big saves. You see him signing autographs as he heads to the locker room, and it's always good. Second clean sheet of the year, second in a row at home. Once again, your final score from Nippert Stadium: FC Cincinnati 2, Harrisburg City Islanders 0. Our next broadcast of USL Soccer and WSTR and ESPN 1530 comes your way next Saturday, June 4th, when FC Cincinnati welcomes the Richmond Kickers to the pitch. The action begins at 7 p.m. For sideline reporter Lindsey Patterson, my broadcast partner Reed Maltby, our producer David Ashbrook, and production manager Mike Bacon, I'm Tom Glader saying so long and good night from Nippert Stadium. Soccer fans in the Queen City have answered the bell, flocking to Nippert Stadium for 4 matches and creating a true home field advantage for FC Cincinnati. Tonight, they will fill the fortress again as Harrisburg City comes to town. Good evening and welcome inside of Nippert Stadium on the campus of the University of Cincinnati. Tom Glitter, happy to be with you alongside Reed Maltby as we get you ready for a rematch between these two clubs. And that's not the story. FC Cincinnati could not play last Saturday. Field conditions did not allow a match to happen in Charlotte. And Reed, that means a lot of the regulars for John Harkes haven't played competitively in 2 weeks. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bit of a double-edged sword. From a coach's perspective, it allows you to rest some of those nagging injuries and allow the players to hit the reset button mentally and emotionally. But from a player's perspective, you need that competition to sharpen the edge. So we'll see how the guys handle it.
Well, one guy who's plenty sharp, Jimmy McLaughlin, 3 goals in his last 3 appearances, and boy, is he hard to defend.
He's very hard to defend, and he's got a hot foot right now. This is a guy that when he touches the ball, it's getting to the back of the net. He comes on cold, 61st minute in the game against Indy 11, first touch, scores a goal. So the key tonight is to continue to get him the ball in positions where he can continue that streak, but also use him as a decoy to open up the other players.
Last time the club played here at Nippert Stadium, he had the game winner against Pittsburgh. He'll be in the starting 11. We'll check the lineup for John Harkes and check in from the field for the first time when we return. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer.
Check, check. Hello? Good evening.